Cracking, y'all. Hey, I want to talk about Mr. Floyd Money Mayweather. Recently, he made a statement, or he was interviewed, and he was talking about how he's proud of the fighters, and he was asked if he was at the fight, which was a kind of a dumb question because you could see on camera. He was shown on camera a couple of times, and it went viral that he was there, present at the fight. So I don't know why someone would play dumb and ask him, "Were you there at the fight? Were you present?" He's like, yes, I was there. He was holding this, he was doing this, and then the guy asked him, "Did you enjoy it? Did you have a good time?" And there was a little pause, like, "Yes, actually I did. Actually I did have a good time. I was there." I'm like, what's with all these robotic ass media questions? Like, just get to the point, bruh. But anyway, Mayweather proceeded to say, he's proud of these fighters. And then he said, initially he didn't want Bud and Errol to fight each other, which was a red flag. Because I've said in the past, and I'm not the only one, there's been many others that have said in the past, that they felt like Mayweather was standing in the way of that fight happening. A lot of us felt like he was sabotaging the fight. Because when they asked him about the fight, thank you, appreciate you. When they asked him about the fight, if the fight was going to happen, or what does he think about the fight, Mayweather and Leonard Ellerbe both said out of their own mouths, "Oh, this fight is not going to happen. That fight ain't going to happen." They never gave specifics as to why the fight was not going to happen. They just said it was not going to happen. Leonard Ellerbe, this Negro with the weirdest nostrils in America, probably on the planet, this goofball, it amazes me how you could be that ugly, that hideous looking, and you have this ego, and you confident, you cocky, like you really that guy. Like, nigga, if you was not even under the umbrella of Mayweather, nobody would even know who you are. We all know that you a little suspect, especially after the way you was massaging Mayweather's shoulders during a particular fight in the past, and you over here on some, just like, what man bites down on his lips while massaging a man's shoulders? We get it. That's, in boxing, they massage a fighter's shoulders in between the rounds, I guess to keep them loose or whatever the case may be. But all that biting down on your lips while you're doing that, nigga, that's suspect. But Mayweather, he exposed himself. See, when the truth's always gonna come out anyway. But Mayweather said he didn't want them to fight. And then towards the tail end of that little interview, I don't know if it was the tail end of the interview, but the tail end of the video that I saw, he said, but I'm proud of all these fighters. I'm proud of, if Bud would have won, if Errol would have won, I would have called him and said I'm proud of him. I'm proud of Shakur. I'm about to work out with Devin Haney, but I talked to all these guys. And then he said, but I'm not jealous of any of these fighters. I'm proud of these fighters. Why'd you have to say that, Mayweather? Nobody said you were jealous. That guy that was interviewing you did not say you were jealous. So why would you feel the need to say that you're not jealous of any of these fighters when nobody asked you, hey, are you jealous of these fighters? There's people that feel like you are a little jealous of these guys, and you're a little jealous of Bud Crawford because he surpassed you in welterweight supremacy. Nobody said anything about jealousy, but you said it out of your mouth. So you pretty much revealed the truth about you. You revealed the reality of why you didn't want this fight to happen, sir. You exposed yourself, dummy. You just should have not said nothing, because you exposed the fact that you are jealous. You don't like that these young men are outshining you and are making your legacy seem minor and small compared to their legacy and their career. Because we already know Bud Crawford already surpassed Mayweather as far as like pound for pound and, you know, as far as like the all-time greats. I'm not taking nothing away from Mayweather because Mayweather was one of my favorite fighters when he was active. But I didn't like the politic games that he used to play. And I'm not a fan of the promoter Mayweather. I was a fan of the boxer Mayweather when he was actually fighting. But this Mayweather that became a promoter and this exhibition fighter, hell no. This nigga's a goofball. And it's ridiculous that he would even do these interviews and try to talk like now he's talking like, oh, he's proud of them. You ain't proud of them, dog. You're not proud of them. If you was proud of these fighters, you wouldn't be standing in the way of them getting these big fights. Unless you want to involve yourself in it, unless you have a say-so in it, or unless your handler, your advisor, your Wizard of Oz, Al Heyman, was to say, oh, okay, yeah, let's make this happen. You know, I like the way that I like that fight. Let's do that. But Al Heyman was in the way of the fight happening, or he helped delay the fight between Bud Crawford and Errol Spence. Mayweather helped delay the fight between Bud Crawford and Errol Spence. Leonard Smellerby helped delay the fight between between Errol Spence and Bud Crawford. I hope I wasn't saying Mayweather and Errol Spence, but between Bud Crawford and Errol Spence, Mayweather, Leonard Smellerby, and Al Heyman were in the way. But now, once he realized he couldn't be in the way anymore, and once Errol Spence, this is why Bud Crawford thanked Errol Spence, because he knows, truthfully, if it wasn't for Errol Spence manning up finally and saying enough is enough, I'm not going to hide behind my promoter no more. I'm not going to allow my handlers to make the decision on whether I fight Bud Crawford or not. If he didn't man up and put the pressure on his promoters and his team to make the fight happen between him and Bud Crawford, the fight to this day still would not have happened. Because it's 100% proof, even to you Errol's fanboys, it's proof to all y'all that Bud was never ducking Errol. Bud was the only one that called him out. Bud was the only one that pulled up on him, got in his face, told him exactly what he was going to do to him. And Errol, in the aftermath of that, kept playing these little games, kept trying to avoid Bud Crawford, and Bud trying to avoid facing him. And then after he faces him and gets destroyed, now all these other people who were in the way, who didn't want the fight to happen, now they want to act like they proud. Now they want to act like they're happy for Bud Crawford. And act like they really care about Errol Spence. Mayweather's a clown, man. Mayweather is a clown. He's a hypocrite. And he's selfish. He's very selfish. And he don't care about nobody but him and his brand. But the reality is, I'm glad that Mayweather did tell some truth. He lied about him being jealous. He is jealous. He was jealous of Bud Crawford. But I'm glad he at least told the truth about the fact that he didn't want Errol and Bud Crawford to fight. Because I've been knew that. I've been said that. I made videos about that, saying that Bud was sabotaging this fight between Floyd Mayweather was sabotaging a fight between Bud and Errol. And all these doing these interviews and stuff, and I used to say on my other videos, I was like, if you don't want the fight to happen, why don't you just shut up? Don't go on interviews and saying, oh, this fight is not going to happen. The fight is not going to happen. Like, why would you stand in the way of that? Why would you be claiming that the fight is not going to happen when you're not even in control, full control over whether the fight happens or not? I don't care who told you what. But see, this is how I know. This was all Al Heyman. Mayweather made those claims because he knew Al Heyman didn't want the fight to happen. Duh. Mayweather made those claims that the fight between Errol and Bud was not going to happen because Al Heyman was the one that told Mayweather that he was not going to let the fight happen. So that's why him and Leonard Ellerbe were so confident enough to tell people, oh, I'll tell you right now, this fight ain't going to happen. That fight ain't going to happen. When Mayweather did that interview, a couple of years ago or a year and a half ago with the Fight Hype and told them that there's false reports that the fight was going to be signed. Remember when the fight was going to be happening in, what date was it? Was it supposed to be in September of last year? Yeah, I think it was supposed to be in September of last year or November of last year, where the fight date was announced. Mayweather came out of nowhere, did an interview on Fight Hype, and told Fight Hype and the world that it was capped and the fight was not going to happen. But in actuality, he only reported that fake news, or he only reported that kind of news because of his handler, Al Heyman. Al Heyman, the Wizard of Oz. That's the main thing. The Wizard of Oz is the only reason why that fight didn't happen sooner. But Errol went against the grain because he didn't want to be looked at as a coward, and he forced him to make that fight happen, even though Al Heyman did not want that fight to happen, even though Mayweather didn't want that fight to happen. But thank you, Mayweather, for admitting that you really did not want the fight to happen. We know you didn't want the fight to happen. You think we stupid? We've been knew you didn't want the fight to happen because how you was acting and how you just went out of your way when you ain't even know how nothing to do with the damn fight. You didn't care about neither one of these guys before the fight happened. But then after the fight happened, you want to act like you care. You want to be there, present, show your face, and then you want to call Terrence Crawford and say, yeah, I'm proud of you, man. You looked amazing. Man, shut your whole ass up, bro. You a straight bitch out here, bro. Mayweather, yes, you a bitch ass nigga, dog. Cause that's some hoe ass shit you just pulled. You pulled some hoe ass shit, and it still didn't work in your favor, because Errol Spence went against the grain on you and Al Heyman, and said, "Fuck all y'all. I'm fighting whether y'all like it or not." And even though y'all was trying to save him from probably getting his ass whooped because y'all knew how good Bud Crawford was, I only feel like Mayweather was in support of the fight not happening because he didn't want Bud to become a two-time undisputed champion and destroy all of the accomplishments Mayweather made at welterweight. Duh. Idiots.